Hello everybody. As you can see, I have a new microphone. I think the audio sounds great. Let me know what you think in the comments below. This week's video is going to be about missiles. How to use them, how to dodge them, and what they're capable of. Let's get started. In translating the Japanese text about the Macross TV series, we unearth a wealth of specific names and numbers of missiles, like the GH-30 or the GA-95. It seems the Japanese love to name everything. Unfortunately, hard data regarding range and type of warhead was limited to short, medium, long, and nuclear, or mini. Now this has led to a very brief list at the end of the missile section that gives a basic description of what each missile can do, such as the fact if it's a gas or nuclear. We'll cover those in a little bit. Strike-guided missiles. Missiles do not enjoy the pilot's combined bonus to strike, since they are all self-guided. Missiles are launched as a separate unit with their own bonuses of 3 to strike. Reflex missiles, which are smart bombs, have a +5 to strike. Rolls to strike are made on the usual 20-sided die. Missiles can be launched one at a time, roll to strike for each, or a volley of 2 or more, roll once. It is possible to dodge 1 or 2 or even 3 missiles. However, it is impossible to dodge a volley of 4 or more missiles. This is where your roll with punchfall impact comes into play. You may not be able to dodge the missiles, but you can reduce the amount of damage you will take from the blast. Damage from missile strikes. Direct hits do full damage. A volley of missiles inflict full damage from each and every missile in the volley. Near misses do half damage to target. There are 2 ways to take damage from a near miss. First is by being within the blast radius of the target struck by a direct hit. For example, your companion, standing 10 feet away, is hit by a high explosive missile with a 30-foot blast area. He takes full damage from a direct hit, but you also caught in the blast radius because you are standing too close together. Fortunately, your character takes half damage since he was not caught directly in the blast. Damage can be reduced by half again if the player successfully makes a die roll to roll with punch, fall, or impact. The second way one takes half damage from a near miss is by successfully rolling with punch, fall, or impact of the attack. In this case, the character fails his dodge roll and is about to be hit by a missile. However, he has a sort of second dodge, or saving throw. Here the character does not try to resist the explosion impact and rolls with it instead. A successful roll with impact works just like a dodge. The player must roll 1d20 and match or better the roll to strike. A successful roll means the character suffers half damage. A failed roll means a direct hit doing full damage. Shooting missiles. Now, what the game means by this is not firing the missiles as in shooting them at somebody, but shooting them out of the sky. Shooting and depleting MDC of a missile can detonate and destroy it. However, there are restrictions. The character must have an attack available for him or her that melee to assault the missile. If all the attacks at melee have already been used up, the character cannot shoot at the missiles. Can shoot at 1 missile within the volley at a time. A volley of 6 missiles would require 6 attacks, which is impossible at the speed missiles travel. This means a player has only 1 or 2 attacks, GM's decision, to shoot at 1 or 2 missiles within the volley. However, if 1 missile is detonated, there is a 45% chance, 1 through 4 on a percentile, or 2d10s, that it explodes and detonates the other missiles in the volley. The player can also use his own missiles, if available, to shoot down a missile volley. Under these circumstances, there is a 75% likelihood of detonating the entire missile volley. If the MDC of the missile is not completely depleted, it is damaged but not detonated, and will still strike its target, inflicting full damage. Attacks on missiles count as normal attacks. Special Missile Defense Tactics. If the missile cannot be dodged, the mecha can sacrifice its arms by covering its main body, thus allowing the arms to take the damage instead of the body. The disadvantage of this tactic is that the arms are likely to be blown to smithereens. If the arms are not destroyed, I strongly suggest the DM or player roll the optional critical damage tables under arms to determine specific damage and side effects. Dodging guided missiles. All missiles used by Zentradi, mecha, and most other military forces are self-guided. Generally, most are pre-programmed to respond to specific images, video camera, sensor monitor in the nose of the warhead, or specific heat or radiation levels which clearly identify the enemy. Reflex warheads are smart bombs that identify the enemy and chase it down. Reflex missiles will keep going until they find a target or are destroyed. They can actually dodge attacks directed at them and turn around to attempt to hit a target if it misses, or if the target dodges the first attack. Conventional guided missiles, +3 to strike. Reflex missiles, +5 to strike, and +4 to dodge, with 2 attacks per round until destroyed. Contrary to what one might think, you can dodge 1, 2, and even 3 guided missiles. It happens in the TV show series all the time. The dodge rules are the same as always. However, it is impossible to dodge a volley of 4 or more missiles launched simultaneously. A volley of 4 or more missiles will strike an enemy every time. Missile notes. The terms light, mid, or medium and heavy, found in parentheses after the warhead type, refers to the destructive force of the warhead. All missiles are self-guided. I'm not entirely sure what that's referencing. Reflex missiles are self-guided smart bombs which can be programmed to seek out and attack a specific target. Multi-warhead missiles are usually a cluster of medium-range missiles housed inside the casing of a large missile. Plasma is a new concentrated liquid heat 10 times hotter than napalm. Fragment missiles are missiles that spread out fragments or small metal shards upon impact, affecting a large area. Fire retardant missiles explode, releasing a chemical foam that puts out fires. Smoke missiles releases large bellowing clouds of smoke, filling the blast radius. A proton torpedo is a large-range, more powerful explosive energy missile. The maximum range is the maximum effective range of the missile. Missiles have been assigned an MDC. Depletion of the MDC from attack will detonate the missile. The speed is provided to give the players an idea of how fast the missile travels. Blast radius is the full area damaged by the missile's impact. Other combat terms. Payload indicates the finite number of missiles or rounds. Energy weapons are generally considered to have unlimited payloads. Range. The maximum effective range or distance a weapon can fire, or a missile or vehicle can travel. Rate of fire. This will indicate any limitations as to how many times a weapon can be fired per melee, and or the number of rounds or missiles in a burst or volley. Missiles, ranges, warheads, and damage. As you can see, there are quite a few missiles. I'm not going to read each missile. I will read one from each of the range categories. From short range category, we're going to do fire retardant. MDC damage, none. Effective range, speed, 200 miles an hour. Maximum range, It's not meant to go very far, so they didn't give it an actual maximum range. Blast radius, 20 feet. MDC, 5. From the medium range, we have armor piercing, mid. Damage, 2d4 times 10. Speed, 1,600 miles an hour. Maximum range, 60 miles. Blast radius, 20 feet. MDC, 10. From long-range missiles, we have the Proton Torpedo. Damage, 4d6 times 10. Speed, 2,100 miles an hour, or Mach 3. Range, 1,200 miles. Blast radius, 50. MDC, 25. And that's the video. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed making it. If you made it this far, like, share, and subscribe. And I hope to see you at next week's video. Have a great week.